Welcome to another deep dive. This time we're going all the way back to 19th century France. And, there was a lot of spiritual curiosity brewing. It was kind of a fascinating time. And we're going to explore the life of a guy named Henri Sausse. He was a prominent figure in the early Spiritist movement.
Right.
Now,
That's
you might already know that Spiritism, it revolves around communicating with spirits.
right.
But it's way more than just spooky seances, right?
Yes.
There's a whole lot more to it.
It's a whole system of thought.
Yeah, it's entwined with philosophical and moral teachings, too. And a lot of this was codified by Allan Kardec.
Right.
So this created a whole system of thought that was surprisingly popular in 19th century France.
It's easy to forget that figures like even Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the creator of Sherlock Holmes,
Oh, wow.
was deeply influenced by these ideas.
I know, it's fascinating. So our deep dive today is based on material from a Spiritist website, but we're going to try to approach it with a historian's lens. Looking at, the facts and context surrounding Sausse's life, think of it as a journey into a historical movement that might surprise you with its depth and complexity.
Absolutely. It's all about understanding the nuances, not advocating for the beliefs themselves.
Right. We're after understanding, not conversion.
Right.
So let's start with the man himself, Henri Sausse.
Okay.
He was born in 1852
Okay.
in a place called Étoile-sur-Rhône, France. Now, his father was the mayor,
Oh, okay.
which suggests a pretty comfortable upbringing.
Yeah.
But Sausse's life kind of takes a turn towards the extraordinary when he starts experiencing these unexplained phenomena
Right.
within his own family as a teenager.
Wow.
Can you imagine that? You're just 18 years old and you're witnessing things that defy logic and conventional explanation.
That would be pretty wild.
It's no wonder that he was drawn to a movement that claimed to offer answers.
For sure.
At that age, I was trying to figure out what to wear to prom, not grappling with the mysteries of the spirit world.
Right.
So Sausse, in his quest for answers, joins a spiritist group.
Okay.
It's led by a Mr. Finet in Lyon.
Lyon at that time was like a spiritist hub,
Oh, wow.
a place where these ideas were openly discussed and explored.
So they were meeting pretty openly.
Yeah, but of course not everyone was on board with this new movement.
Oh, I can imagine. There's
Yeah.
probably some pushback.
The government wasn't exactly thrilled with these gatherings.
Oh, really?
They imposed restrictions, making it difficult for groups like Sausse's to operate freely.
So it wasn't just like social pressure, it was actual governmental pressure.
Yeah, well, new movements often face pushback,
Uh-huh.
especially those that challenge established norms.
Right.
It's a pattern we see throughout history.
Right.
Just think about the early days of any scientific or social revolution.
It's amazing to think about those early spiritists having to destroy their notes after each meeting to avoid trouble.
Wow.
I mean, they were clearly dedicated to exploring these ideas, even in the face of opposition.
Exactly. And this dedication is evident in Sausse's rapid rise within the movement.
Oh, so he becomes kind of a leader?
He does.
Okay.
He takes on leadership roles in multiple groups,
Uh-huh.
including the Société Fraternelle
Okay.
and the Group Amitié, which was particularly interesting because of its focus on experimental research.
So they weren't content with just sitting around and talking about spirits. They wanted to actually study and understand the phenomena.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They were especially fascinated by mediums and magnetism,
Oh,
concepts central to Spiritist beliefs about communication with the spirit world.
Right.
And within the Group Amitié, they worked with a gifted medium, a Mademoiselle Louise,
Okay.
who experienced some truly remarkable phenomena,
Like what?
including something called spirit-composed music.
Spirit-composed music. Okay, you've got to tell me more about this. Was it like a ghostly choir or instruments playing on their own?
Well, according to accounts from that time, Mademoiselle Louise would go into a trance,
Okay.
and music would seemingly flow through her. Melodies and harmonies that she claimed were dictated by spirits.
That must have been an incredible experience for those present. It really speaks to the desire within Spiritism to understand the spirit world through observation and experimentation.
Right. They were trying to move beyond blind faith and into a realm where these phenomena could be studied and perhaps even explained.
So they were kind of like the Ghostbusters of their time.
You could say that.
And Sausse wasn't just interested in research. He was also passionate about spreading Spiritist teachings.
Right.
He was instrumental in establishing the Fédération Spirit Lyonnaise, a regional organization dedicated to promoting and educating others about Spiritism.
Wow.
So it sounds like he was incredibly busy writing pamphlets, organizing charitable works, all while conducting research and leading these groups. He was clearly a man driven by his convictions.
Absolutely. And those convictions would soon be put to the test when a rift emerges within the movement itself,
Oh.
a controversy that would challenge Sausse's dedication to the legacy of Allan Kardec, the very founder of Spiritism.
This is where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
Remember that journal review Spirit founded by Kardec himself?
Yes.
Well, it was now being run by Pierre-Gaëtan Lemery,
Okay.
and his leadership style wasn't sitting well with everyone,
Interesting.
especially Sausse.
This brings up a crucial question we often see with movements founded by charismatic figures.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when the founder is gone?
Right?
Who gets to interpret the teachings?
Yeah.
Who gets to decide what's true Spiritism?
And in this case, Lemery started incorporating ideas from other movements like Theosophy into the review Spirit.
Okay.
Now, you might be thinking, what's the big deal?
Right.
But for those who saw themselves as purists, like Sausse,
Right.
it was a betrayal of Kardec's original vision.
And it wasn't just any ideas from Theosophy that were causing tension.
Oh, there were specific ideas.
Yeah.
Okay.
The real conflict stemmed from Theosophy's emphasis on reincarnation, a concept that directly clashed with Kardec's Spiritist doctrine, which held that spirits progressed linearly through a series of spiritual realms.
So imagine you're deeply invested in a belief system, and suddenly the core texts are being reinterpreted in a way that contradicts what you hold dear.
Yeah.
It's no wonder Sausse felt compelled to take a stand.
It was a fundamental clash of ideologies, a struggle for the very soul of the movement. And Sausse's stand was a bold one.
Oh, yeah.
He and other Spiritists who shared his concerns formed the Union Spirit Française,
Okay.
or UEF,
Uh-huh.
as a direct challenge to Lemery's leadership.
So they formed their own group.
They did.
Oh.
They even launched their own journal
Oh, wow.
of Spiritism to defend what they saw as pure Kardecism.
So it was a full-blown schism, a
Exactly.
split within the movement itself.
And Sausse became a vocal critic of Lemery,
Uh-huh.
engaging in heated debates and penning passionate articles defending Kardec's legacy.
And this tension kind of reaches its peak
It does.
with the controversy surrounding Kardec's book.
Right.
The Genesis Sauce accused Lemery of altering the text
Oh, wow.
to align it more with theosophical ideas.
Specifically, he pointed to changes in the chapters dealing with the formation of the universe and the origin of spirits.
So pretty fundamental stuff
Right.
to Spiritism.
These alterations, however subtle, were seen as a direct assault on the fundamental tenets of Kardecism.
Yeah.
Sausse saw it as an attempt to rewrite history,
Wow.
to reshape the very foundation of the movement.
It's like someone tampering with a sacred text, a
Precisely.
violation of the core principles that the movement was built upon.
And this wasn't just some academic squabble.
Right.
It was a battle for the heart and soul of Spiritism.
But here's the twist. Sausse eventually acknowledged that the Genesis was in fact authentic.
Oh, wow.
He retracted his accusations,
Really?
admitting that his zeal to protect Kardec's legacy had clouded his judgment.
This incident reveals a lot about Sausse's character.
It does.
He was deeply passionate,
Okay.
fiercely loyal to Kardec's teachings, but also capable of admitting his mistakes.
It also highlights the complexities of preserving a founder's legacy.
Yeah.
How do you maintain the integrity of the original teachings while also allowing for evolution and interpretation as the movement grows and encounters new ideas?
It's a question that many movements, whether religious, philosophical, or political, grapple with.
It's a big question.
Yeah.
How do you stay true to the founder's vision without becoming stagnant or dogmatic?
Right.
And in Sausse's case, this dedication to Kardec's legacy leads him to embark on a groundbreaking project.
Okay.
He becomes Kardec's first biographer.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Isn't it?
It is.
We often focus on the teachings, the ideas, the doctrines,
Yeah.
but we forget about the human beings behind those movements. It's
Yeah.
like we place founders on these pedestals, their personal lives, obscured by the weight of their ideas.
Uh-huh.
Sausse wanted to bring Kardec back down to earth to reveal the man behind the movement.
And this journey begins with a speech he delivers in the Lyon back in 1896. This speech becomes the foundation for his book, a project fueled by his desire to illuminate the life and experiences of the man who had so profoundly shaped his own worldview.
But even with his deep connections within the Spiritist movement, Sausse faced challenges in gathering information about Kardec.
Oh, really?
He expresses regret in his book about not receiving more cooperation from those who knew Kardec personally.
It makes you wonder what they were holding back.
It does.
Were they afraid of tarnishing Kardec's image?
Yeah.
Did they want to preserve a certain mystique surrounding the founder.
Perhaps they simply didn't see the value in personal anecdotes, focusing more on the teachings themselves.
That could be.
Regardless, Sausse persevered digging through archives, piecing together Kardec's life from scattered documents, letters, and whatever accounts he could gather.
Wow.
And this dedication resulted in a truly groundbreaking work.
Yeah.
The biography was a success,
Cool.
even getting translated into Spanish.
Nice.
He later released a revised edition in 1912, and then the final definitive version came out in 1927,
Wow.
prefaced by none other than Leon Denis,
Okay.
another prominent figure in the Spiritist movement.
It was a remarkable achievement, providing the Spiritist community with a glimpse into the personal life and character of their revered founder, a man who had, until then, been shrouded in a certain degree of mystery.
Imagine you're deeply interested in a particular philosophy or movement.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you be curious about the founder's life, their struggles, their triumphs, their motivations?
Of course.
Sausse gave that gift to the Spiritist community.
He humanized a figure who had become larger than life.
Right.
And in doing so, he enriched our understanding of the origins and evolution of the movement itself.
But Sausse's story doesn't end there. He continued to be actively involved in the Spiritist movement, joining new groups, publishing his own journal,
Wow.
and even becoming president of the Societas Spirita Joanna d'Arc.
It speaks to his enduring passion for these ideas and his commitment to building a vibrant and supportive community around those beliefs.
He even collaborated with Leon Denis, collecting biographical notes about him.
Oh, wow.
Almost like he was preparing to write another biography.
Perhaps he was.
Yeah.
It seems that Sausse was a lifelong learner, always seeking deeper understanding,
Yeah.
always documenting, always contributing to the movement he held so dear.
Sadly, Sausse passed away in 1928 at the age of 75.
Oh,
His legacy, however, lives on through his writings,
right.
particularly his groundbreaking biography of Allan Kardec.
It's a reminder that even within movements focused on the afterlife, it's often dedicated individuals who shape the trajectory and leave an enduring mark on this earthly plane.
It's remarkable how one person's dedication can really shape the course of a movement. We've journeyed through Henri Sausse's life, from those early encounters with the unexplained, his deep dive into Spiritism, and then his rise as a leader, especially in that bustling Spiritist scene in Lyon.
And we saw how Sausse wasn't just a follower,
No.
but a defender of what he believed to be the true essence of Spiritism.
Yeah.
Remember that controversy with Lamery in the Genesis?
Oh, yeah.
It shows just how deeply Sausse cared about preserving the legacy of Allan Kardec.
Absolutely. He was a guardian of the original texts, yet he also brought this new dimension to our understanding of Kardec by writing that first biography. It makes you wonder, what is it about a founder's life that we find so compelling? Is it their personal struggles, their moments of doubt, their unique perspectives that help us understand these movements that they create?
It's like we're looking for the human element.
Yeah.
The relatable experiences that shaped their ideas.
Think about any historical figure or movement that you find fascinating. What would you want to know about their lives? What details would give you a deeper understanding of their motivations and the impact they had on the world?
You're right. It's about connecting the dots between the personal and the historical.
And it's fascinating to think that Sausse, who was so dedicated to the idea of communicating with spirits, also recognized the importance of understanding the human story behind the movement.
Exactly. He bridged those two worlds.
Yeah.
The spiritual and the historical in a way that continues to resonate with us today.
Well, I think we've given our listeners a lot to ponder today.
Yeah.
What a fascinating deep dive into the life and work of Henri Sausse.
It really is.
Any final thoughts you'd like to share before we wrap up?
I'd encourage you, if this has sparked your curiosity at all,
Yeah.
to explore Sausse's writings for yourself.
Okay.
You can really sense his passion for Spiritism and his meticulous approach to research.
Okay.
Who knows, you might discover something that resonates with your own search for understanding and meaning.
Beautifully said. And on that note, we'll conclude this deep dive into the world of early Spiritism. Thank you for joining us, and remember, keep exploring, keep questioning, and we'll see you on our next deep dive into a new realm of fascinating ideas.